Concept, a series of LGBTQ hosted shows and podcasts. Make sure to check it out.
Eat Local Minnesota is a great way to find locally owned Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors. You'll find high-quality food and unique eating experiences with dishes from around the world. Just visit eatlocalminnesota.com for your next meal. Crooner Supper Club invites you to Maggie's Lounge, an exciting new bar lounge. It's open Wednesdays through Sundays beginning at 4:30 for cocktails and light fare. And you don't need a ticket to enjoy the great atmosphere of Maggie's. So stop by Crooner Supper Club off Moore Lake and Highway 65 for dinner, drinks, and live music from both big-name local and national artists. Cafe Latte combines a cafe dining experience with gourmet quality food. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. We have families waiting for a car. You know, over 85% of unemployed are successful in finding and keeping a job if they have dependable transportation. A car plus a job equals a life changed. 612-919-5526. We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 19, then Saturday, cloudy with a high of 45.
Vinaigrette can add the perfect complement to your next home-cooked meal. Taste test their wide selection of oils and vinegars, and they'll bottle it for you right on the spot. Vinaigrette is located at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Check them out at vinaigrettemn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies are trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, and Native news and events, and a lot of news and a lot of events, and you know, we're still here. We are the seventh generation, and you know, Native issues are human issues, Chujunk, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by JS Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
I am awake. Hey, a lot going on. We're going to have our friend Allison Waukau on in a little bit and talking about her work as a Met Council Twin Cities tribal liaison, and I know she just jumped on and did that, but she's hit the ground running. I've seen she's visited some tribes here in Minnesota and has never been to a couple of them, and how beautiful their reservations are in the area that she lives. So we're going to be excited to talk to her. But at first, maybe we can talk a little about a little news here. I was just noticing, I was at All My Relations this afternoon, and there was a couple things I noticed, Haley. One of them is there is a review in The Circle, the news from Native American Perspective, a magazine called The Circle, about a new book about Ho-Chunk removal and exposed ethnic cleansing in Minnesota. And it's a great article, and I'll probably quote from it a little bit later. And I know we got New Native Theater has Bear Grease coming March 2nd through the 9th. And it's really fun. They have the whole different bunch of things that they're supporting that night, like Rock Your Mocks night. And I always have to put like supports in my mocks now, Haley.
Oh, yeah. You got those bad feet. Well, I know, yeah, well, I know Bear Grease is only going to be having 6 shows, and I think one of their other theme nights is Auntie Night, which sounds really fun. But definitely get those tickets while they are still, not sold out, because 6 shows, that'll go quick.
It's the Gremlin Theater on 550 Vandalia Street, Suite 117. It's a great theater. I've been there before. The one I like here is March 2nd is Elders Day, and that must be a Sunday because it's a 2 p.m. show, and us elders, can't stay up at 7:30 for the other shows.
That's perfect for you guys.
I'm a baby elder. I can stay up a little later, but I'm not a true elder, but I am an elder according to my tribe. Native Bling Night, and then
Fun.
also Youth Day and 1950s costume contest, because Bear Grease is based on the play Grease and the musical
Right.
Grease.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely have to go see this one. I'm a big Grease fan myself. Are you did you watch Grease a lot? Were you a big fan of that movie?
That was just like in the beginning of me being really cool and not watching movies like that. I think it came out in 1980. Does that sound right? And
I would not know.
And I was already out of high school, so I was too cool for those kind of musical things. I was into Road Warriors and things like that, blowing up stuff and just being mean and beating, Rocky came out and all that stuff,
Oh, okay. But you guys were still probably smoking cigarettes in the bathroom at school way before they were doing it, right?
Well, we had a lounge, a smoking lounge in my high school. We could smoke in the
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, things were much cooler back then, I remember a lot of things I shouldn't probably talk about here on national radio, but
Right.
yeah, we had a smoking lounge, and we could also smoke in between our classes, so we had 5 minutes to have a cig. And
Wow.
yeah, so just so if you weren't of age, you couldn't smoke in the school, but I think if you were 18, you could go into the smoking lounge. And
Well, times have definitely
it
changed.
wasn't the teacher's smoking lounge. I just want to be clear with that.
Just for the students.
Yeah.
Students only.
We were chilling. There was couches in there and everything. It was the day, we were chill. We were
Wow.
chill.
It sounds like a work break room or lunchroom or something.
Well, school was work then, You had to,
guess.
you had to walk to class, and I remember the computer class I took, Haley, was you had to call a number, and then I don't know even if you as a Gen Zer know what I'm talking about, but the phone we had to put in these suction cups, and it went to the University of Minnesota and got onto their server. And this is like 1978, 79.
Wow.
And then
No, I knew nothing about that.
And there was a big typewriter, and the memory was like ticker tape. So it was taping out all this memory, but it was punched through like ticker tape, like a paper. And
Okay.
if you needed to get back and look at what you were doing, it was punched in some weird holes, and I don't even know how you'd be able to read it. But I was copying Jill Tierney's assignment, and she helped me out. And Jill ended up being Joe Mauer's aunt. So,
Oh, no way.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. When you're old, you have all these connections. And well, you're not that old. You have a Minnesota twin connection too.
I do. It's pretty cool. But yeah, shout out to your friend Jill. That was really nice of her.
Exactly. I hope she's not listening. But yeah, graduated high school, didn't fail a class, and we had those really rigorous courses like underwater basket weaving and
Wow. You failed?
No, I didn't fail class at all. It was like I was down. I was definitely
Well,
down.
that's
But
good.
when I went back to college and looked at my looked at the classes I took, I went, wow, how did I graduate with these classes?
Yeah, well, that's the trick when you're in high school and you got to get all of your credits, the required ones done, and then your senior year is just all the fun ones.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's other things going on here other than my alleged high school career. What else do we got going on here in the Twin Cities?
Yeah, well, speaking of fun things, we have NAC, Native American Community Clinic. Here in Minneapolis, they are having another full moon ceremony this month, which will take place today, actually at 6 p.m. out at 2495 18th Avenue South. And they ask you that you please just wear a long shawl, skirt, sarong, or sheet. Again, the full moon ceremonies are for our relatives who identify as female or femme.
Yeah, definitely. Those are good to know about, and there are some the stipulations, of course, like what you mentioned. You need to. I remember too, and you might not remember this, Haley. I don't know where you were at. You were younger, but when Standing Rock happened in the Dakotas, fighting against the pipeline, they asked everybody to wear a skirt. And I don't know if you see pictures out there. That was just part of the ceremonial acknowledging that it was Standing Rock tribe, and I know Wendy wore a skirt too, and that was if you see the pictures of her during that, it's just one of those things that are out of respect.
Yeah, well, and it's always fun to wear a ribbon skirt and show off your creation or someone else's beautiful creation. There's a lot of great designs out there. Another full moon ceremony happening tonight. If you can't make it to Minneapolis, the American Indian Family Center is hosting a full moon ceremony. Will be taking place at the Baldwin Conservancy Savannah Center out there at Afton, Minnesota. Same thing, it will be a potluck. Please bring a dish to share. Yeah, a lot of cool ceremonies going on. We love the full moon ceremonies and our grandmother moon.
Wow. And what is you sent me this AIFC. What does that stand for?
That is American Indian Family Center.
And so they look like they have a lot of men things too going on here.
Yeah, that's part of their calendar. I know we just have about 30 seconds left. But they do have a men's what was that? They have a men's
well, I see a regalia making workshop. I could into that.
Saturday. So tomorrow from 12 to 4, American Indian Family Center. Boys to men regalia making workshop.
Wow. That's crazy. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with
I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Patrick. February is the month for love. So when's the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves? If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you are breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their Love Your Rug special. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $119 and a free hallway. And don't forget dirt and dander's favorite hiding place either, your air ducts. This month, take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call Zero Res right now or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. If you're a business owner, protect your employees and customers by getting your business Zero Resified by the pros at Zero Res. Call today for your commercial cleaning estimate. Backward or forward smells the same. Zero Res.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we have our friend Allison Waukau on, and she is now the liaison for Met Council in the Twin Cities, tribal liaison, and we're really excited first to have you on and talk about what's going on, but also, let our listeners what your job entails. And I know you just got this job, and I see you're like really excited, and you're visiting nations, and so welcome, Allison.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, my volume wasn't working.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. I thought I could. I heard you initially, and then it kind of dipped out. I'm sorry.
No problem. Hey, it's live radio, and we're all live here. Hey, what I was just saying is let our audience know what about your new job. And I know you've just recently got this job, but I see you're traveling around and really excited, and you have updates for us. And let our audience know what tribal liaison is for the Twin Cities Met Council all about.
Well, it's a brand new position. So Met Council has never had a tribal liaison before. And it started actually with the Minnesota Indian Affairs, one of their quarterly meetings. The chairman's and chairwoman advised that the Met Council have a tribal liaison. And so it started from MIAC actually, and it progressed from there. Had the governor's office involved in MIAC in my interviews, and it's been really great. It's a new position, so we're kind of creating it from the ground up. And one thing that I really like is that Met Council has placed me with regional affairs. So I feel like that's a really great position for tribes to be placed in. As far as the Met Council goes, the Met Council is huge. So I'm learning a lot. We do a lot of wastewater treatment. We do parks, we do housing. And of course, everybody knows Metro Transit. So there's a lot of components to Met Council that I'm learning, and it's a pretty big entity.
I was really excited that you got that job. I know there was we were talking a little bit as friends off the camera about or off the radio show about that. That was really cool. I wonder if you could also explain to our listening audience what MIAC is. I know we know, but I'd like them to know too.
Yeah, the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council is, I guess it would be similar to other states' tribal. So they really support the tribes or the ones that are active or in Minnesota Indian Affairs Council. Upper Sioux doesn't participate with MIAC, which they opt out, but they do a lot of how Met Council works with MIAC a lot of times is with the archaeology kind of component of it all. And recently we had a pipe that was close to a sacred site, a sacred area. And so we have to work with MIAC to get approval to then fix the pipe that, and there's, so really I feel like MIAC is an entity here in Minnesota that really supports the tribes and then government, cities, counties, in the work alongside the tribes that they'll be doing.
I follow you on Facebook, and you were just at one of the reservations up north, and first time there. Can you tell our audience you seemed like you were really excited to go back, and that you really liked the area? Can you talk a little bit about that experience and that being part of your job?
Sure. So I'll probably expand on that a little bit. So I moved here from my reservation, Menominee Reservation in Wisconsin, and it just feels really good. And Minneapolis now is home, but it's so nice to get out of the city. It is. It's the cleaner air. It's just So I've been so far, I've been to Lower Sioux and Mille Lacs and now Bois Fort. So in my 2 months time, I've already been able to visit 3 different reservations or communities, and it's really exciting. I just love it. I love being able to work with tribes directly and support them in their work and their goals and priorities. And it's just been Bois Fort. I've never been. I went maybe in Michigan. I was that far north, but it's just really beautiful. It was really nice. And then their casino has this little steakhouse inside. I don't know. Some folks may or not been there, but it's really good. And so it's just nice to get out and see different places and experience those things. And it was really nice that the chair of the Met Council attends the Indian Affairs Council meetings, and so he was up there as well. And it's nice that MIAC does this so that our leadership can also visit the reservations and see and really connect on in that level too, which is really nice.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're finding your jam, and
Yeah.
Allison, I know you from the community here, and just being with your former job here in the Twin Cities, just being in the community all the time and being active, and this seems like just a nice natural progression and next step for you in your career.
I think so too. I'm really enjoying it, and it combines. I was talking with someone recently, and they said, "Have you ever not worked for your community or your people?" And I said, "No. Every single job I've ever had since college, or even in college, has been either on my tribe or the Native community." So I really enjoy it. It's my passion, and so I'm really lucky to continue that on this in this position as well.
So what is and again, it's a short time, and we were looking back at the history when last time you were on the show, and it wasn't that long ago. And what has surprised you in this short time in your new job? What has been like a pleasant surprise?
It's been really nice to see the staff really committed to working on sovereignty, acknowledging it, and taking it to heart. I think it's really easy um, to just not want to work with tribes or the Native community, and it's just wonderful to see so many staff. Every staff member that I've met so far has been committed to doing everything in a good way. And they had some bumps in the road before I came on. And it's nice to see that they're learning from those instances and willing to make changes. They are starting a land acknowledgement. Well, they're calling it a land, water, and people acknowledgement. And that started with it maybe have been mentioned with Council Member Littlegren when he was on your show some time ago, but we're really coming together, and that was one of the things that our chair Zelli is supporting and working forward. But we're bringing a council together to really get advice on what kind of action items are going to be coming out of it. And it's wonderful to see that they're putting funding alongside it, which is nice. And so we'll see like how this year plays out. And but it's been really, really awesome to come work alongside staff that understand. And I have a wonderful boss that gets it, and so you don't have to do all the background of explaining everything and the reason why you're doing it a certain way. So it's been wonderful.
That's awesome that the Met Council has become, I guess, a pretty progressive council. I mean, I don't know if it's political or whatever, but just what I'm hearing sounds really truly progressive and opening to everything. I'm really interested. Maybe when we get back, we can talk a little bit about this. But I never heard of a water acknowledgement along with a land acknowledgement and a people acknowledgement. I wonder, it'd be interesting to hear the definitions of that, because that sounds really cool. That water is a moving, breathing, living thing, and it's great that that's put in some sort of acknowledgement too with the work you're doing in the and with the Met Council.
Yeah, happy to talk more about it.
Well, so I think we got a break coming up, right, Haley?
Yeah, just about a minute.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Should I sing something here?
Yeah, you don't want me to sing.
Well, Haley's a good singer. What do you got for us, Haley?
Oh, well, don't make me blush. No, I'm very average. But thank you.
Well, hey, we'll have to have a karaoke party soon. Hey, we're with Allison, and she's a tribal liaison with Twin Cities Met Council, and really excited to hear her insight and input. And we'll be talking more here in a little bit. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hi, I'm Rachel Shamblatt. My dad is Dr. Scott Shamblatt from Shamblatt Family Dentistry. A lot of people are afraid of the dentist, but you don't have to be. My dad makes going to the dentist comfortable and even fun. He won't be mad if you haven't seen a dentist in a long time. He just wants to take care of you and your teeth. If you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
Shamblatt Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblattfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than four walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Do you want a fast way to save money? It's easy with Rudy Luther Toyota. Start with the Luther Advantage Card. With every new and used vehicle purchase, you'll get 3 years of 10 cents off per gallon of gas at holiday station stores, as well as discounted Works car washes for only $6. Plus, the Luther Advantage Card gets you other benefits too. See their website for details. And Rudy Luther Toyota wants to buy your used vehicle. They'll ensure a great offer. Go to RudyLutherToyota.com for the details. Saving money and getting you a fair price is easy with Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, clear with a low of 19, then Saturday, cloudy with a high of 45. Vinaigrette can add the perfect complement to your next home-cooked meal. Taste test their wide selection of oils and vinegars, and they'll bottle it for you right on the spot. Vinaigrette is located at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Check them out at vinaigrettemn.com.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by All My Relations Arts and their current gallery exhibit, Okizi, in partnership with the American Swedish Institute, running now until April 13th at 1414 East Franklin Avenue, Minneapolis.
Yeah, awesome. I was just there again today, and it's a stunning art gallery. And yeah, well, hey, if you guys are watching this on Facebook Live or YouTube, Haley just thought this ended up becoming a TV show all of a sudden. Hey, we're on radio. Hey, we're here with Allison, and she's Met Council Tribal Liaison of the Twin Cities. And I was just asking before, I guess I broke a little early there. We had to talk a little bit before during the music, but just a little bit about that acknowledgement. That sounds interesting. What more can you tell us about the air, land, and water and people acknowledgement?
Yeah, I think the idea behind it, well, one came from Lemoyne LaPointe, a great leader here in the cities, and but really what it is that's what's in our purview for Met Council is so really want to, and now that the chair presented that at MIAC at the meeting this past Wednesday. And we had comments that it was an appreciation for that we're including all that, knowing that they're all connected. And especially with Met Council having, we do land planning with the cities and counties. We do parks with land. We do water treatment. We deal directly with the Mississippi, with the St. Croix. And so having all that included in the acknowledgement, along with the people, the residents, the tribal citizens, everyone, and just keeping that as a priority. And that is what, and really as Native peoples, that's what, along with the animals, that we are all connected, and it's just, it goes to show that with the acknowledgement. I think that is what we're leading with there.
That's exciting too, and we talk a lot about this too, that all our allies out there have been colonized too at one time or another, and we all believe the same thing, that our animals are relatives, and the water is life, and Mother Earth and Father Sky, and all those things before they were colonized. So we welcome everyone back to the tribe, so to speak.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So we're hoping that the land acknowledgement really helps staff and residents and the tribes know. I think what is happening with this and why it really came about was there's something that the Met Council is, we're called it, like, I guess we're called like a subdivision of the state. So we're not necessarily a state agency, but we are created by the governor's office. And so one of the things that we have to do is a regional plan. And we have to do that every 10 years. So our next one is coming up. It's called Imagine 2050. And I believe it'll be completed by the end of this year, early next year. And so one of the things that we're looking at is how do we, maybe I'd like to say, like, indigenize some of the policies that would be in there, and looking at each policy and going, how does this relate to the tribes? And Prairie Island and Shakopee are within our metro area. And so how can we involve them and really get their leadership and advice on really what is happening within their counties, and So I think that this land acknowledgement will be a way that we can place that within the guide and really showcase what our commitment is for the next 10 years.
That's exciting, and what's happened here, I believe, in the last 10 years is that we've had a really good acceleration of, as you put it, indigenizing things, and it's really exciting in many, many ways. It's a really exciting time to be native or indigenous or whatever you call yourself, just to see these positive changes happening in local government and sometimes national government too.
Right. I feel like we are leaders here within the country with Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. She has made so many changes and really brought the tribes up with her along the way, which we really appreciate when we're really seeing in Minnesota.
Yeah, I agree. And two, we got to give a little credit too to our first. It was Susan Allen breaking the ceiling there as a state legislator, and then also State Senator Mary Kunish was a state
Yes.
rep, and then we have Heather Keeler, and now and a couple others too.
Mhm. Senator Kunish has been amazing, especially with libraries too. She does really wonderful work.
Yeah, definitely. And we have representation, and it's a bummer. And I think you run into this sometimes too with your past jobs, is that you have to educate people about who we are and that we're still here. And it sounds like you have an easier way with the Met Council because they do know.
Yeah, they do. And they know that they don't know it all, but they're willing to learn, which is the first step. And I think that with a land acknowledgement too, that's another step to increasing knowledge, especially for our residents. One of the comments that we got was that we alongside educating our staff, we need to be educating our residents. And I think I really would like to see us be innovative. I'm not sure if anybody knows the bus that Metro Transit has. It's by Marlena Miles with the We Are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on Dakota land. And what is really interesting with that is that the one of the bus drivers that ended up on that was actually Native. And
Wow.
so it was just by chance. I don't think that anybody knew. But it would be really nice to see that kind of education for residents continuing. Like, how can we expand on that and really let people know whose land this was and is, and how can Met Council support that with our buses, our trains? There's so many different things that with the Met Council does, and how to really increase visibility for us.
There's so many streets and areas and parks that are named after Native American, whether it's the Lakota name or Anishinaabe or even Ho-Chunk, and I don't think people realize that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a whole listing. I forget what I did with it, but it's really interesting. And here in the metro, how many names? Nokomis and yeah,
Hiawatha.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's something too that the Met Council can look at too, and
Definitely,
do
especially within our
some
parks.
history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right, do some history. And while I was saying that, I remember too with the Kate Bean's push on changing Bede-Makaska from
Yes.
Lake Calhoun, which was huge and natural now, but it was a big thing in the beginning. And I know here, a junior high that I went to in St. Paul, it used to be called Ramsey Junior High. They changed the name because the students wanted the name
Yes.
changed because they know what Alexander Ramsey did to African Americans and Native Americans in his regime as a lawmaker here in Minnesota.
Right. And I think what would be up next is here in Minneapolis public is I think there's a school after Pratt. And so it would be nice to see that changed as well. Who did it was Carlisle.
Mm.
boarding school.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I know it when COVID happened, it kind of stalled, but I don't think it changed the name just yet. So I could be wrong, but I know that was up next for Minneapolis Public Schools. I believe it's over Northeast.
And that's a land back. That's another definition of land
Right,
back for us,
right,
right, Allison?
exactly. Agreed.
You know,
I,
and I think a lot of people think that we wanna, get certain lands back or whatever, and it's more of a perception. It can be physically the land back too.
right. It's an all-encompassing, right? Definite, but it can mean many, many things.
But changing the name back to what it was and getting a bad person off it, whether it's a lake or a school or a street, I think it's common sense, and I really believe. Again, I've been talking like the last 10 years. I've just seen so many things change in a good way. And granted, we have a long way to go, and uh, but we like talking about this on Native Roots Radio because we have so many allies listening to the show across the country that we run into, Haley and I and Wendy, and we run into them, and they're just really excited to hear the history that it wasn't taught to them and what's going on
Right.
in Indian country because it affects everybody.
Yeah. There is the Shakopee grants that are going on right now and I think
Mhm.
Shakopee has been a huge supporter of with the Understand Native Minnesota campaign. It's been really wonderful, and it's the reviews of the grants are going on right now, and I think that is a wonderful way to get change within our classrooms. So it'll be exciting to
Mhm.
see what comes from that.
Yeah, language grants that they've been giving out too in the
Mhm.
last year. I saw that. Yeah, no, we hope, and I know you were at the To Banish Forever a book reading, and we hope that Minnesota takes lightly on to Ho-Chunk when it comes to Native history here in this state, and that's why I think it's important to have a book like that out there about the banishment of the Ho-Chunk people and how that went down, and be part of Minnesota history and not be afraid to face history the way it happened and look at it that way, you know?
Mhm. Exactly. Face reality, and once we can acknowledge it and see what happens and move on from it, it can be healing. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, Allison, I wanna just say a big peeny-gee thank you for being on, and, always, thank you for the short notice for coming on too.
Oh,
I
of
really
course,
appreciate that.
anytime. Yeah,
Right
it's
on,
always
and,
a pleasure to be here.
yeah, and we wanna, make this kinda often whenever you can come on and give us some updates, but I thought it was really fun to connect with you, especially with, how you're enjoying your job and what I'm seeing, on your Facebook. It's exciting, and we're excited for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Robert. Thank you, Haley.
All right. Hey, thank you so much. The liaison for the Met Council, Allison, Twin Cities here. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio. We'll be back after this short break. Please stay with us. Life can be hard. Sometimes it feels like there's no answers, like there's no way out. Hennepin County's mobile crisis response is here to listen and help you find a way through whatever is going on in your life. Call 612-596-1223 for no cost crisis support anytime, anywhere in Hennepin County. That number is 612-596-1223.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a go-to card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Is your remote workforce putting your company at risk? Cyber criminals are targeting your employees with COVID-19 inspired emails and attacking businesses like yours. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. Rymark has the tools and expertise to enable your employees to work securely from home. If you need help getting your staff to work remotely and securely, call 651-328-8900 or go to rymarkit.com. That's 651-328-8900 or rymarkit.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Ho! It's funny, Lucy, the cat here in the studio, busted through the door and started, I don't know, it's not a howl, it's kind of a scary scream that she does now, but she was right on cue. Could you hear her?
Oh, yeah, she wants to be included. Oh, Lucy Lou, she's so cute. Well, I always love when Allison comes on, Allison Waukau, in our last couple segments there. Before we had Allison on, we were talking about some local events going on, but there is something going on right now, which has been going on, I think, since 10 a.m. this morning. It goes on until 8 p.m. So this is something going on in Little Earth. It is a medallion workshop today, right now, until 8 p.m. And teens and adults are welcomed. Beading supplies are provided. So that's really, really cool. This is happening at 2501 Cedar Avenue, Minneapolis, in the group room.
Dang, that sounds like something to really go in and do. That's
I know, right? I feel like you would learn. There's no better place to learn.
right. I mean, I've looked at videos, and what's interesting too, I want to say this about medallions and earrings. When you buy them, we talk about this all the time, but when you buy them, ask who made these.
Right.
When they're in a store like a Native Roots Trading Post or any other pop-up, and especially the fair, because there's so much appropriated stuff out there when it comes to Native American. It's Native American inspired, but really that means Native American stolen. And I have a couple of medallions. One's from Nolan, a former student of mine who made a big eagle. And there are some imperfections in it, and it was done on purpose. Each bead has a prayer in it, but also if you look closely at it, there's a different color white beads in there. So if this was made in China, it would be perfect. There would not be any imperfection. So I always look for that too.
Right. And that's a good point too. And I always like to know the names of the jewelry or the earrings that I'm buying too. Just, when people ask and they're like, oh, wow, that's, a really beautiful medallion or earrings. Where'd you get it? And I was just, like pointing them in the right direction to, another sale for that artist to make too.
Yeah, definitely. And there's things all around. But if you're in I just saw today, I was at the neighborhood cafe, Haley and Lisa, who used to work for the store. And she also is, I always kid with her that she was like, when she worked for us a couple years ago when we were down at Dayton's, that she was like the employee of the month, but also customer of the year, because she bought a lot of stuff as she was working. And she was wearing the resin cedar earrings that, Micah and the twins made. And they look just great. And she said, I've had about 10 people ask me about these.
Right, right. That sounds like me. I would be customer and employee of the month.
Hey, you already are here with Native Roots
Oh,
Radio.
oh, well, thanks, Pinagigi. Well, besides our full moon ceremonies taking place tonight, like I mentioned, NAC has one in Minneapolis going on, American Indian Family Center tonight in Afton, Minnesota. We have a few other things going on this weekend. I know there is a huge powwow happening out in Sloan, Iowa, Dega. So fill up your car and maybe we'll head on down. But this will be tomorrow, February 24th at the Winnevegas Event Center. This is the winter celebration, last Bear Moon Powwow. Is
Get
this
that.
Winnebago?
Yeah, it must be. It's at their casino.
Yeah.
Well, get that war pony gassed up, Haley, and get that front windshield fixed, and I'll bring my pillow and let's go.
Hey,
I'll
yeah.
keep sleeping in the passenger seat. That's why I'll bring the pillow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we both need our windshields fixed, which is it's always that time of the year, those rocks hit your windshield.
Which is really ghetto.
Oh, well, that's luckily we have insurance and, it's always good. That's why you have that. But that'll be fun. The Winnevegas Powwow, Last Bear Moon Winter Celebration. Wish we could make it. What else is going on? We have something going on in Bemidji tomorrow for our Bemidji relatives and friends. This is the Snow Snake Community Potluck Feast and Giveaway. And so this apparently is a tournament, the Snow Snakes tournament, but due to the lack of snow in Bemidji, it is now the feast and celebration. So this will be at the Rail River Folk School in Bemidji, Minnesota, tomorrow, Saturday, February 24th from 4 to 8 p.m. Feel free to bring a dish and or gifts to share with the community. If conditions allow, they will play games for fun. So bring your snow snakes.
You need a lot of snow for that, and it's basically your snow snake is a well varnished stick, and some are pointy and some are not, and then you whip it down the trail, and whoever goes the furthest wins. And I know it's a lot of fun, but it comes from hunting, I guess, using that as a weapon, and then it became, or the pole as a weapon, and then it became known as the snow snake. God, that's hard for me to say.
I know.
Snow snake.
Snow snake.
Snake
Yeah.
snow. And you whip it down there. And I had an opportunity to do some with some Ho-Chunk youth here last year. But again, we have weather here in the Twin Cities that we should have like I look at my Facebook and we should have like 6 feet of snow out there, and it should be cold. And right now we got grass turning green, and it's unbelievable here. It was 60 degrees. I was in Madison just yesterday, and it was 61 degrees there.
I know. Well, I know I'll be heading out to Washington, D.C. Next week. And I know when I leave, it'll be 60 here and sunny.
Yeah. You got to keep on reminding me too that you're leaving, because the show's going to fall apart if you're not around. Hopefully you can work on the road on your vacation. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, we'll hook in on the plane and we'll do the show there.
Yeah. Well, I did one outside of McDonald's yesterday. How did that sound?
Actually, really good. Shout out to McDonald's for that really great free Wi-Fi.
Exactly. And I was in one of those. I don't know if you've been to a McDonald's lately, but they have these like online kind of places where you can pull up and park, and they'll bring out the food to you. Well, I was there, and somebody was trying to bring me like 4 green malts or something, and I said, no, it wasn't me. It isn't me.
The Shamrock Shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out now.
Yeah. Well, there was 4 of them ready to come to my car while I was sitting in the passenger seat doing this great show. And Robert was on fire yesterday, by the way, too.
Yeah, Robert Lilligren, who's usually on most of our Thursdays, is always a really great guest. So check out all of the shows that he's on. But going back to the Winnevegas powwow, if you can't make it down there to Sloan, Iowa, you can stream it on The Big Voice 100.9 FM, and they will be also live streaming that on their YouTube channel. That is Winnebago, The Big Voice.
Wow, excellent. And as everybody knows, our relatives live down there, and we're all related, and we got Ho-Chunk and the removal of Ho-Chunk from Wisconsin to Minnesota to Nebraska, and our relatives are there in Nebraska and the Iowa area down there. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plentycoops. The ground in which we stand on is sacred ground. It is the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, vote, and all those other things. It's times are coming here where we need to really get out there and help people register. We're still here. We are the 7th generation.
And free Leonard Peltier.
My